of Sam Mcgee by Robert Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge that I cremated Sam Mcgee. Now, Sam Mcgee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. And why he left his home in the south to roam round the poles, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. It was on a Christmas day.
Yes.
I think it was on a Christmas day we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. And talk if you're cold, through the parka's fold, it like a driven nail. If our eyes we closed, then our lashes froze, till sometimes we could hardly see. But it wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam Mcgee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed and the stars overhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he looked so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of a groan, "It's this cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet it ain't being dead. It's the awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you cremate my last remains." Well, a friend's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the break of dawn, but God, he looked terribly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. But by nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam Mcgee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. He was lashed to the sleigh, but he seemed to say, "You may you may rush your brown in your brains, but you promise true, and it's up to you to cremate my last remains." Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were numb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night by the lone firelights, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, in my heart how I hate the thing. And every day that heavy clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. But on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. So I sit and sometimes sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin, till I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and there a derelict lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I could see in a trice it was the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, thought I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. And some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a fire you never did see. And I dug a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam Mcgee. Then I took a hike, 'cause I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my face, I don't know why. And the inky and the black smoke and the inky cloak went drifting down the sky. I don't know how long in the snow I wrestled with a grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about before I again ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. He must be cooked, and as time I looked, then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, quite cool and calm, in the heat of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile. And he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time that I've been warm.